Kenyan President William Ruto's security was breached today. A man rushed to grab him, and immediately he was almost there. His security was able to get this guy off Ruto and took the guy, or tried to take the guy to custody. You see the difference between President William Ruto and other presidents who are dictators in Africa is that once the incident occurred, this is the second time it's occurring. Once the incident occurred today in Nairobi, the 12th of February 2026, he paused his speech and immediately he asked his security team to leave that man alone. He said, leave him alone. And I'm sure after that, he went and met the guy. Now, if this had happened in your normal dictator African presidents, especially those in Samoei, oh, Jesus Christ of everywhere. How will even start that these guys will even be surrounding the president? How will even start that they are surrounding the president, these guys? The kind of chain layer of security that will put for you to even see the president is, William Ruto tells the security team, let that guy go, allow that guy. The security team allowed the guy, and later they met. You see, that's why I tell you that President Ruto may not be, you may not like him, but me, I like him. I like him because he embodies some principles that I see and I want that African leaders should emulate. He's a fighter. He thinks about the next generation. President William Ruto thinks that the difference between Ruto and some of his opposition members is that President William Ruto thinks about the next generation. His own people, his own opposition are thinking about the next election and how it is their turn to eat. And that's why I tell Kenyans, open your eyes very well, because you have two sets of people. Ruto is generational. Rigathi Gachagua, Fred Matiang'i, this other one that was removed from the ODM Secretary General, Sifuna. You have also Kalonzo. You have also Matakore. All those guys, as I'm talking to you, thinks about the next election. Whereas Ruto thinks about the next generation. And for you to think about the next generation, it is a painful sacrifice. You must take some hard decision that will pain those who think that they want to eat now. And that's why they are fighting President Samoei Ruto. He is not perfect in all his ways. There are some areas that sometimes I personally criticize him, but I must tell you that Dr. President Ruto thinks about the next generation. It's about a few African presidents. He, Chaure, Abdurrahman Tiani, Assimi Goita, and the president of Ghana, John Mahama, are the few African, and the man in Botswana, Duma Boko. There are the few African presidents that thinks about the next generation. The rest think about the next election. Some don't even think about the next election. They just don't even know whether they're still president again.
All right, let's talk about an incident that took place earlier today. President William Ruto was forced to momentarily halt his speech in Wajir County as an unidentified man breached security and ran towards him at the podium as he addressed a multitude which had gathered for the disbursement of the Nyota plan. This is, however, not an isolated incident, as the head of state encountered a similar chilling moment less than a week ago in Mombasa. Emmanuel Tor reports.
His speech at the Nyota Capital Disbursement Forum at Wajir Stadium was going on smoothly until this unintended man wearing a white shirt and a jeans trouser emerged charging towards him from the back.
Vijana ya Wajir, asanteni. Hey! Pole. Wachana.
Forcing the head of state to pause his speech momentarily as his security aides, including the aide-de-camp, wrestled the man off the podium.
Tunataka kushirikiana pamoja na nyinyi.
The president urging his security team to leave the man alone as those on the podium and below watched. President Ruto then continued his speech as the hawk-eyed officers stayed on alert, putting a human barricade between the president and the thousands of youths who had turned up for the program.
Na huyo kijana amekuja hapo, nijue anataka mambo gani, nitashughulika na yeye.
The man who has spoken to Citizen TV says he harbored no ill intentions, saying he wants to be an MCA.
Alikuja almost saa 6 na kitu, nikangoja nikajaribu, imenishindwa. And mwishowe, that was the time he was even summarizing his speech. There was no otherwise. And I was only wanted to greet him and share with my ambition of the 2027 election. As I already told you, I'm an aspirant. Wajir Wajir East. Nimeanguka kiasi kwa cabinet chini ya rais na wakanipepa. Na hata karibu shati yangu imeraruka kiasi.
Abdi saying he does not regret his actions, perhaps not fully aware of the gravity of his daring move.
I didn't want in a harm, or I wanted to greet him, as I already told you, and it was not my knowledge that inaweza leta shida. Na niko na hope na nitakutana na yeye.
So kwa leo siku ya leo haukutana na yeye?
Sijakutana na yeye.
Habari yako boss? Wacha na yeye. Unaitwa nani? Jeremiah.
6 days ago, while addressing a similar Nyota event at the Jomo Kenyatta Showground, Mombasa, President Ruto was yet again confounded by another security threat. A man ran forward, this time round from the front, tumbling over the podium as the president's security unit raced to catch him.
Wewe utangoja kidogo, acha nimalizane na hawa, keti pale, tashughulika na wewe. Kwanza tupunguze gharama ya.
In yet another scare, President William Ruto's security came under sharp focus last year, May, as the president dodged a flying shoe hurled at him during a rally in Migori County. At the time, State House described the incident as a moment that got out of hand, suggesting that it happened by accident. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV.
Vous êtes le futur de notre société. Vous êtes les leaders de demain. Vous êtes les innovateurs de la prochaine génération. Nous sommes là pour vous aider à réaliser vos rêves et atteindre vos objectifs. Bacheliers, devenez les architectes de votre avenir avec l'Institut universitaire du Golfe de Guinée de Douala.
Since 1993, the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea, it is 3 higher schools, ESG, ISTA, ISA,